Welcome back to RNT's Garage. Last time I was here, it was November. Now it's February. It's been a long time since I've worked on the Jeep. I was going to start this video out, and start doing these week for week. Life gets in the way a lot. Recently we found out my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I've been working my guts out at my job and whatnot, so I've not been able to work on the Jeep. But now I am taking the time out of my day to go work on the Jeep at least an hour a day and film something. I'm going to be finishing up the track bar that you're going to see in this video. So if you notice that the video looks different and I'm wearing different clothes, that's why. I started this in November and I haven't been in my building since November 14th. I finally just cleaned up the floor and everything. It gets water in here, so that's why I've got some air movers in here. But I'm gonna get started on this and try to remember where I left off. I actually have to go back and watch the videos to see what's going on. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, RNT's Garage. Here today I'm getting ready to make me a track bar on my 1998 Jeep Cherokee. I'm doing a Dana 44 Bronco axle swap with the radius arm style. So come on along. So I've got my 35s on my Ford wheels. I've got the cool buckets in. I've got the control arms mounted. And I'm getting ready to take my track bar and run it down. I'm gonna cut this bolt off and weld a bracket on and make that a lot stronger. I'm gonna weld this plate to the axle tube. Okay, so I got me some plumb bobs. And, they're pretty lengthy. But I'm getting ready to run them up through where my shocks go through. Right there. I'm gonna run them up through there and tie them to a nut. And I'm gonna have them drop down to about where that control arm is and where the old shock mount is. But that way I can get my measurements side to side, that way I can make sure the body is even. Okay, now I've got it relatively close. I know it's gonna be off a little bit here and there. All I done was I tied the nut to it. Got the other side on. I know this isn't the perfect way to do it, but it's gonna be something just to get me in the ballpark. Okay, so this is the bracket that I'm gonna be using. It is outside the frame bracket. I got it for a whole $3.99. I'm just gonna hack it off straight and weld it in place. That way, hopefully, it works out good. Hey, the grinding wheel. Wow. That's the junk battery. Okay. Now that I've got that bracket to where it's flat, I'm going to take it and weld it in. Put it right here. Like I said, I gotta cut that one. I gotta cut that bolt off. Let me look at it. That bolt, this will probably set right here for a big long track bar. It'll sit there for a big long track bar. And that's not really in line. That's in line there. On it. Well, I might end up actually moving that. Well. Now I'm in a dilemma. I think I'm gonna cut it off with a torch. Okay. So as I'm seeing stars, I cut it off like that because I think it'll be all right if I just take it weld it like that. I think it'll be in line. I just needed to cut off most of it. And I can always bend it or whatever I need to do to get it straight. Now, like I said, I'm gonna weld that in there. Okay, now I've got that welded on. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Yeah, covered my ram up and whatnot. But it's not terrible. But now that I've got that welded on, I can get my measurement for my track bar, and hopefully it'll be pretty close to what I'm thinking. I've already got a big long bar over there, so it's not going to be a big deal. It's already got a left-handed heim welded in it. It was a steering kit that I ended up not using, but we'll figure it out. Alright, so from bolt hole to that scratch mark is where my heim is going to sit. That'll give me 26.5 inches from hole to hole. That way I'm able to adjust, because it's pretty daggone close with that. So now that I've got my measurements, I can bolt it in once I get it cut and welded. Okay, after watching the video, I'm making my panhard bar, track bar, and I scratched it at 26.5 inches. So to center your bolt holes, you can hold it in the center and then put it where you need to. But what I like to do is go to the top of your heim bolt hole and then measure, and that's to 26 5/8 or whatever. That way I've got some adjustment. I may be telling you wrong, but that's where I'm going to weld it at. I'm going to cut it at I marked the bottom where the heim's going to be, marked where my 26.5 was, and man, it's cold, you can see my breath. But I'm going to mark it and cut it with my chop saw and weld that heim in. Whenever I get it all welded up, I'm going to bolt my track bar in. Got it all smoky in here, but my track bar mount's welded on, my ram mount's welded on. I welded it actually to the axle this time. I'm getting close. I'm getting ready to cut the track bar. Okay, I got my track bar cut. I'm getting ready to weld it. I ended up taking some time and finished welding my full hydro mount on, because I just noticed it was barely tacked to the axle. So hopefully I've got it to where it'll stay. As you can see, I welded it to the axle tube. Welded it all down. Welded it to the axle tube. Here's my track bar mount. There's my track bar. If I pull it over all the way up against, that's where it's supposed to be, and up and down, it isn't going to hit my axle. So that's a good part. Oh, about to lose it because I ain't welded it. But I'm gonna get this welded up and then bolt it in. Okay, while that cools, I'm going to probably weld my shock mounts on. I'm going to take these, probably weld them right here, maybe at the bottom, and then throw a piece of a 3/8 under it. Flip it and then throw a piece of 3/8 under it. I'm not really sure how I want to get those in. Okay, instead of making shock mounts, I was impatient and went ahead and bolted the track bar in. Come on, adjust. There we go. But I went ahead and bolted the track bar in. These are the wrong size bolts. I gotta drill these out. But man, That looks good. I think it's gonna work out real good. I'm gonna do the shock mounts later. Well, that's all for today. I went and tracked down some parts for my hydro, steering, and tracked me down a drive shaft that I can cut and put the slip yoke on. All in all, it's been a good day. I got a lot done. Hopefully, you know, everything continues to go well on this thing. I'm making progress. That's all that matters. I'm finally back in the garage. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what I've done wrong. I just kind of winged it this time. I know putting the track bar in ain't much, but it only took me 5 months, whatever it was. It's been November, February, 4 months to get it in, so